This is a presentation of the Moldy Cheese family of networks.
Hey guys, it's a great day on the Moldy Cheese Network to go back in time and play a little Utah Jazz basketball from the 94-95 season. This is episode number 6. And first off, let's take a look at the league leaders coming into this episode. The leading scorer in the league, Michael Jordan, at 29.8 points per game. Allen Houston is second. Grant Hill is third. Our own Karl Malone is fourth at 28.2. Allen Iverson fifth at 27.5 points per game. Dominique Wilkins from the San Antonio Spurs. He spent maybe just a year, I don't think he even spent 2 years in San Antonio. Sharif Abdur-Rahim is 7th with 25.4. Charles Barkley, Chuck, averaging 25 points per game. The Denver Nuggets, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, 23.5 points per game. And C. Webb from the Bullets. All right, rebounds per game. Hakeem Olajuwon averaging 17 rebounds a game. Ronnie Cycli is second. Sean Kemp is third. Derek Coleman from the Philadelphia 76ers is fourth with 14. Shaq from the Magic, also averaging 14 rebounds per game. KG from the Minnesota Timberwolves. This had to have been his rookie season, I think. Rick Smits from the Pacers, the Duncan Dutchman. David Robinson from the Spurs, and Chuck. Let's look at assists. Kevin Johnson leading the way with 11.6. Tim Hardaway at 9.8. Mark Jackson at 9.5. Mark Price at 9.5. And then our very own John Stockton at 9.3. And Stock will contend for the assist crown before the end of the season, I believe. Gary Payton at number 6 with 9.3. Rex Walters from Philadelphia. Damon Stoudemire at number 8. Avery Johnson from the Spurs at number 9 at 8.9 assists per game. And the little guy, Muggsy Bogues, 5'3" Muggsy Bogues from the Charlotte Hornets. Steals per game, Allen Iverson, 2.6. Grant Hill, 2.5, second. John Stockton, third at 2.3, the all-time leader in steals. Isaiah Ryder in fourth with 2. Michael Jordan in fifth with 1.9 steals per game. Hershey Hawkins is there, tied with Ron Harper and Damon Stoudemire, and Darrell Armstrong from the Magic, averaging 1.8. And Gary Grant from the Clippers, averaging 1.8 steals per game. All right, game number 28. We're on the road, facing the Seattle Supersonics from the Tacoma Dome in Seattle. I can't remember. I do remember them playing in Tacoma Dome. I can't remember if they played there like before they played in Key Arena, or if they played there for a year or something while Key Arena was being updated, or I don't know what the story was. But anyway, we are at the Tacoma Dome, and neither Tacoma Dome or Key Arena is really worthy of an NBA team. Having lived in the Seattle area, it's no wonder that Seattle, the Sonics, left for Oklahoma City when the city didn't get them a new arena. Not that I think cities should, that's a whole other discussion. But without a new arena, the Tacoma Dome and Key Arena just not suitable for an NBA team, either of them. So we're at the Tacoma Dome in this one. As you see Antoine Carr, the big dog, throw it down. Early in the second quarter, the Sonics lead 35-26. This is Gary Payton, guarded by John Crotty. Payton on the left side, the glove, yo-yos, backs it out. Looking for Detlef Schrempf around the screens. Detlef Schrempf hits the three. Detlef Schrempf hits it. Sonics up by 15 early, midway through the second quarter here. John Stockton guarding Gary Payton. Down to Sean Kemp. No, he gets his own rebound, and Rain Man goes back up and throws it down. So I remember one point, not too long ago actually, Gary Payton was asked who the toughest player to play against in the NBA was during his time. And he said John Stockton was actually tougher to play against than Michael Jordan. Tougher to guard than Michael Jordan. So interesting comments from Gary Payton. And people that didn't watch Stockton every day are very much not appreciative of all the little things that he did in a game, from setting screens to his defense to his help defense and just all around leadership abilities. And he was clutch. He was absolutely clutch. If the Jazz weren't so dead set on Karl Malone, riding Karl Malone down the stretch of games, they would have done a lot better, especially in those finals games against the Bulls. If Stockton would have been a little more assertive and didn't rely so much on Karl Malone, but that also is a whole other discussion. All right, back to this game. We are in the fourth quarter now. Sonics lead by 14. Howard Isley holding on the left wing, looking down on the block to big dog Antoine Carr. Antoine Carr backing in on sleepy Sam Perkins. Back to Carr. Carr, 12-footer from the baseline is good. It is an 86-76 lead. Sonics by 10 with 8:28 to go in the fourth. Hershey Hawkins down on the block to Sean Kemp. Kemp working on the big dog. Kemp turnaround, pump fake, gets the big dog in the air, but then has to give it back up to Nate McMillan. Nate McMillan around the screen, and he has it knocked away by Howard Isley, and Isley's going to take it and go coast to coast. Lay it up and in with the left hand. Howard Isley, a nice still and run out for the Jazz. Utah has now cut the lead to 4. Detlef Schrempf from the right side. We got just over 4 minutes to go in the game. It's 88-84 Sonics. Schrempf, left side. Nate McMillan guarded by Stockton. Nate McMillan gave Stockton fits just because of his size. Down to Sean Kemp for the dunk. And it's 90-84, 3:50 to go. Stockton brings it across the timeline. 6-point lead for the Sonics. Stockton, guarded there by Nate McMillan. Hands to Jeff Hornacek, guarded by Hershey Hawkins. Stockton around the screen from Karl Malone. McMillan gets through it. Back to Karl Malone, down the lane, and he is hammered by Sean Kemp. And they are going to give Kemp a flagrant 1. So you be the judge. Yeah, Kemp not really going for the ball, it didn't look like. Swinging for Karl Malone's head, and the mailman will shoot 2, and the Jazz will get the ball as well. A 6-point game for the Sonics. This is a bad turn of events for Seattle. Karl Malone steps up, knocks down the first of 2. Second one from the mailman is up, and it is good as well. So we skip ahead now into the fourth quarter, 2:28 to go. It's still a 4-point game here for Seattle. This is Scheffler, blocked away by Tag, and Tag picks it up. Quick outlet to John Stockton. Stockton to the left side. Stockton down the middle to Malone. And Karl Malone throws it down in the face of Sean Kemp. 92-90 with 1:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Down on the block to Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp, a nice pivot with the left hand, lays it up and in. It's a 4-point Sonics lead. 94-90, 1.5 to go. Crunch time here at the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. 94-90. Stockton yo-yos right side. Malone comes to set the screen. Stock goes around it. Stockton gives to Malone. Down the lane with contact. Score it, count it. And he is fouled there by Hershey Hawkins, putting his body in harm's way. And Karl Malone will go to the line to finish off the 3-point play. He gets it. It's 94-93. It's a 1-point game. Gary Payton has it. Left side, dumps it down on the block to Kemp. Sean Kemp working on Karl Malone. Karl Malone stays on the ground. Kemp back to Payton. Payton drives baseline. Nobody there. Cross court. Detlef Schrempf. Shot good. And it was just a 2. 98-95 now with 7 seconds to go. Here is Stockton. 3.5 seconds. Stockton for the tie. He's got it! John Stockton ties the game up at 98 with 0.2 of a second left. And we are headed into overtime here in Tacoma. Jazz win the tip. Stockton has it left side. Stockton whips it down underneath to Ostertag, and he'll throw it down. Greg Ostertag from John Stockton. And the Jazz take an early overtime lead. We are now late in overtime. Jazz leading by 2 with 1.5 to go. Sean Kemp's down on the block against Karl Malone. Sean Kemp pump fake. Karl Malone goes for it. Kemp dumps it off to Gary Payton. Glove backing in on John Stockton. Glove back to Sean Kemp, who hands to Hershey Hawkins. Hawkins guarded by Hornacek. Hornacek bodies up with him. Hawkins is just going to raise and fire. 3, no. Rebounded by Sean Kemp. And Sean Kemp is just an absolute beast in the paint. 104-104. We're all tied with just over a minute to go in overtime. Stockton brings it across the timeline, guarded by Gary Payton. Stockton going down the lane, left side, lay it up and in. Stockton gets his shoulder around Gary Payton, and once Stockton got you on his back shoulder, he kept you there. 23 points, 11 assists for John Stockton so far in this game. Here's Sean Kemp left side. Pivot, spins into the middle. Fouled by Tag. Good if it goes, it's gone. Sean Kemp, a beast again, has a chance to give Seattle the lead with less than a minute to go in overtime. Shot no good, though. Rebounded by Brian Russell. And here come the Jazz. It's all tied up at 106. 46 seconds to go. Detlef Schrempf guarding Russell. Left side to Hornacek. Hornacek drops it down on the block to Malone. Malone holding back to Stockton. Stockton fakes the three. Drop it back down to Karl Malone. Malone with Kemp on his back. Karl holding. Karl is going to flip it underneath to Stockton, and it's taken away by Seattle. Stolen by Gary Payton. Right side is Detlef Schrempf. Detlef Schrempf working on Brian Russell down underneath. Scheffler blocked by Tag. 18 seconds, we're still tied up. Here's Stockton. Stockton whips it left baseline. Russell shot, no. Rebounded by Sean Kemp. And the Sonics call a timeout with 12 seconds to go. They're going to get the final shot with the game tied up here in overtime, if they so choose. Here is Gary Payton. 10 seconds. Payton holding out with Stockton on him. Drops it down to Sean Kemp. 4 seconds. Kemp pivoting. Ostertag comes over to help. No, rebounded by Tag, and we're going to go to double overtime. Into double overtime, Seattle leading by 2. Detlef Schrempf with it on the left wing. Schrempf has it taken away by Brian Russell. B. Russ pushes it ahead to Stockton. Stockton whips it to Karl Malone. Karl Malone lay it up and in with the left hand. Score it, count it. He is fouled by Sean Kemp. Malone can give the Jazz a 1-point lead here with the free throw. 4:26 to go in double overtime. Shot goes up, and it is good. 109-108. We move ahead now. A minute 20 to go. Seattle leading by 1. Sean Kemp on the block. Kemp. Stockton comes down and double teams. Kemp tries to go baseline. Greg Foster is there to double team now. Kemp still forces it, and he gets his own rebound and puts it up and in. Sean Kemp, a one-man wrecking crew for Seattle. 116-115 now. Sonics have the ball. Here's McMillan. 50 seconds to go in overtime. Stockton knocks it away. McMillan back to Detlef Schrempf for 3. He's got it. Detlef Schrempf hits the 3, and Seattle's up 119-115. 45 seconds to go. Jazz here on the road trying to steal a victory in double overtime in a game which they have not led much. Here's Stockton down the lane. Scoop it up and in. And it's a 2-point game. Stockton down the lane makes it 119-117 with 30 seconds. We're just going to play it out here. Sean Kemp on the left side. Kemp triple teamed. Kemp still tries to get the shot off, and it's rebounded by Greg Foster with 21 seconds. Jazz can take the last shot if they so choose. Down by 2. Stockton left side. Setting up a play. 14 seconds. Stockton guarded by Nate McMillan. Here comes Hornacek around a screen. Horny catches, shoots with 8 seconds. Shot off the back heel. Rebounded by the Sonics. Quick outlet. Stockton gets in there. Ball is loose. Malone has it back to Horny for the 3. And the win! Unbelievable! Off of the loose ball, Hornacek gets the shot, and the Jazz win it at the buzzer. 120-119. Absolute instant classic game from Tacoma Dome in our first matchup here with the Seattle Sonics. 120-119, the final score in game number 28. We shoot 51% on the day. 5 of 19 from 3 isn't great, but that 5th 3 was the one that counted. 78 points in the paint for the Sonics, 72 for us. Sean Kemp dominated the paint. He finished with 35 points, 19 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. John Stockton had 27 points, 3 rebounds, 13 assists, 5 steals to go along with 5 turnovers on the day for the Jazz. So an incredible win for Utah, and a much-needed one. As up next, we have the Heat at the Magic, at the Rockets, and then at home against the Warriors. And I think with the length of that Sonics game and as classic as it was, we're just going to go through the scores of these next 4 games. The Heat beat us 104-93 in game number 29. Up next, we have the Orlando Magic on the road in the Magic Kingdom. They are 15-13, and they get the 97-82 win over us. Next up, we hit the Rockets on our way back to Utah. They are 19-9 and make it 20-9. They get the 112-98 victory over us And game number 32 against the Golden State Warriors back in Salt Lake City. Both teams at 15 and 16, and we do manage to pull off the win in this one, 111-102 in game number 32. So let's look at the Western Conference standings to close out this episode. The Spurs and the Nuggets, the top two teams. We are at the 7th seed at 500 at 16 and 16. Portland and Sacramento just out of the playoffs. Seattle's down there. The two Los Angeles teams bringing up the rear of the conference. If the playoffs were to start today, the Spurs would be playing the Warriors. The Rockets would be playing the T-Wolves. The Jazz would be playing the 2-seeded Denver Nuggets. And the 3rd seed Phoenix Suns would be playing the Dallas Mavericks. Again, that is if the playoffs started today. There's still plenty of basketball to go. And this setup is going to change quite a bit before the end of the season. So that is episode number 6. A huge instant classic win against the Seattle Sonics here on Utah Jazz 94-95 season replay on the Moldy Cheese Basketball Network.